Coach, just Kentucky obviously struggled a little bit, but what do you see from them?
Well, what I know is the respect that I have for John Calipari and his program, and what he's meant not only to the University of Kentucky but to college basketball in general. And when you think of his teams, all I know is they always get better, always. And I don't care what's happened up to this point with either University of Kentucky or the University of Tennessee. You can throw all that out. It's going to be a game where both teams are going to play hard, going to try to get better, and so we're going to have to be ready to play. And you go back and look, they've, like a lot of teams in college basketball, you know, they've had injuries they're dealing with. I'm not sure he's had his whole team together all year, and the one thing I do know that his teams always get better, and they play their best basketball late in the year, and hope that people can say the same thing about us, that we're going to get better and we're going to still play our best basketball later on.
Rick, talk about the success that you guys have been able to have in this building against Kentucky.
You know, one, I think you've got to give Kentucky a lot of credit for when they go on the road. I mean, they've had great success in that program, and certainly since John's been there, you know, he's taken it to even a different level to where people expect it. It's like, you know, one of those basketball programs that wherever they go, people want to come see them play, and your fans get excited, and that's, I think most teams would say you're envious of that. You want that. You know, we want that wherever we go, and we want to build it, but it takes a long time, over many years, which Kentucky's been successful in basketball. You go back, what, 40s, 50s, I don't think there's probably a decade they haven't had great success, and so it's a compliment to people that have coached there, who have not only carried that on, but have improved it. And I can tell you, John Calipari has improved it as much as any coach they've ever had.
Rick, I know the fans will be excited Saturday for Chris Lofton and the retirement of his jersey. What has he meant to this program?
Well, we all should be excited for Chris. When you think about, I've never met anyone that can say one ill thing about Chris. You know, when you come into a situation like we did 8 years ago, and you know you want to build something special, but you also know you need past players and people involved with you to help you do that. He embraced us, and he really, from the time he came around, one, because he loves this university so much, and the second thing is he loves being in the gym, and so I think our players had a chance up close to see a real professional go at his craft and do what he needs to do, and but lay that aside, the kind of person he is and what he stands for, his love for the Lord, and the way that, I mean, he's real. He's as real as can be. Then you throw in the fact that he had to fight cancer, but he's such a great person, and it's more than, in the way he loves the program. And I don't know of any era that doesn't love him because of the way he loves this place.
What makes Oscar Sheboy such a great rebounder?
Effort. Got a great second, third lift off the ground. Great angle player, terrific hands, really quick with the ball, quick with his hands from his shoulders over his head, extends, plays with extension, is willing to leave his area to go get rebounds, and but he's got really good body control. He doesn't have to so much be technically correct in terms of his footwork. He just has a knack, and it's, when he rebounds, he got a great touch around the rim. But rebounding, as we know, it's effort, but it's also in some DNA, and he's definitely got it in his DNA.
How important is it to contain him?
It's hard. I mean, you say contain him. I mean, when you got a guy that's averaging a double like he has for so many years, I don't know if you can contain him. You just got to hope that you can make him work for everything that he gets, because he's going to get it, and if you don't make him work for it, he's going to get a lot more than what his numbers show.
How's Kentucky different with and without Cason Wallace? What does he do for them?
Well, I think, you know, Cason has a terrific player, and it goes back to, you know, with our team. I can say the same about our team. You know, you get new guys in the program, you're learning them, they're learning you, and I think what Cason has done, he's gone in there, he's learned this program, he's learned the system. His roles probably changed a little bit from where he started, but that's part of the coaching part of it, where you are more around players, you learn more about them, and they learn more what you need them to do, and so Cason's done a little bit of all that for him, and a guy that, again, he can do a lot things on both ends of the court.
What do you remember about those 2 games when you were at Texas playing against Chris Lofton, and just what was it like as an opposing coach trying to slow him down on any given night?
Well, if I speak to you honestly about the first game in Austin, we had 6 players that we played in the game that we wanted to play because one of our guys, Daniel Gibson, got a concussion the day before the game, and he was a non-factor, and they played great. And then coming in here, we had the game won, and the officials took over.
Coach, what do you remember about that shot that Lofton hit here in '06?
Well, I know it was a deep one, and again, it was. I tell people all the time, all they got to do is look at the tape. But the fact of the matter is, it was a real. I was telling someone yesterday, it was a major turning point game for Kevin Durant. He had played great, made a couple decisions at the end of the game that weren't very good, and after that game, he really had a whole different focus on college basketball in the terms of. But he actually came back after Christmas. This was right before our Christmas break here, and he came back and said, "Coach, I want to really learn how to play this game, not just from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint." And within about a week, he took off like a rocket and won every National Player of the Year. That's, if you want to ask me what really stands out, that's what stands out to me.
Coach, what's Zakai, when you watch film, what's Zakai doing right now at a higher level than he has been?
I think, again, understanding the game and wanting to be better. I mean, want to get better as a player. He's all about winning. He's a highly competitive player, and he's again, we're asking him to continue to learn a position he's never truly played in terms of understanding maybe what a point guard's role is to play, and but he's starting to get it. And the exciting thing, I mean, he's only a year and a half into this, and is to think about what he can continue to become.
How much do you think putting those orange tape up on the backboards has helped the efficiency of your big man?
Well, I wish we could leave him up, you know, but I think it's helped. But again, we've preached that forever, you know, getting the ball higher off the glass and getting it up there. But that's made him focus more. You know, we used to have a piece of white tape that went, you know, horizontal, but they seem to like that better, and I wish we would have done it sooner.
2 more.
Coach, just this rivalry. What's your understanding of it now compared to, or appreciation of it compared to when you first got here?
Well, you know, rivalries aren't rivalries unless you beat each other, and you know, and that's what I think is this. You know, we've competed against each other now since I've been here, but it's gone on forever. You know, there's been, you know, you go back through the years, there's been, I guess, times when maybe, for the most part, I know Kentucky, has got double the wins, I think. Is that right, Tom? I don't. But so, you know, if it's going to be a rival, you got to beat somebody. And for that to happen, you know, we're going to have to continue to play good basketball because, again, they're going to play and they're going to get better. I don't care what's happened up to this point. I know John Calipari, and I know how he is. Nobody's going to work harder. Nobody's going to put more into it. And he's locked in on one thing, and that's to figure out how to get these guys better. And I fully expect them to be better when they come in here tomorrow.
How much of a turning point or wake-up call was that game in Lexington last year? I remember you talking about leadership and things of that nature afterward. It seemed like you guys found it pretty quick after.
Well, I think it was a big wake-up call for Kennedy Chandler because he went in that game and played one of his worst games he played. And to see where he came from that game until the end of last year was really a compliment to him because he was, I think that was a game that he learned, hey, this is a whole lot different than I thought it was going to be, and maybe for a couple other guys, but they played great. I mean, it's a night where they made every shot. I mean, they played great basketball, and when teams are doing that, if you're not playing, if you're not competing at a highest level, they're going to put it on you like they put it on us.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
So did you change away from number 5 so that Chris's number could get retired? Was that the thinking there?
That definitely wasn't the thinking, but it's awesome that he's receiving this honor at the game on Saturday. I didn't know that it was happening when I decided to change, but kudos to him. I'm happy for him.
Just like, you know him very well. I mean, watch clips and, since you've been here.
Definitely have seen clips from him, seen him work out here, had good conversations with him. He's a great guy. Besides being a great basketball player, I've learned a lot from him. Trying to perfect my shot, learning how he was able to, you know, shoot the ball so well. And just sit down, talk about life when he was here. He's really down to earth. You would never know that he had all these accolades. And he's been through a lot. And so, you know, me going through injuries and I wouldn't say it compares to what he had to go through, but just learning from him and how he was able to handle adversity has helped me out a lot.
Once you started paying attention more to Tennessee basketball, I guess during the recruiting process, how long did it take you to learn, or maybe once you got here, who Chris was and everything that he had done?
Yeah, I didn't hear about him much before getting here, but like I said, he's always been around during the summers, and so, you know, I see him working out and he's not missing, and so I ended up asking coaches and GAs, like, who is this guy? And then from there on, I just looked up highlights and got to know him better, and so I would say I didn't learn about him until I got here, but I'm very familiar with him now.
I mean, how are you feeling after playing 3 games? I mean, are you good? I mean, is there any setbacks?
No, I feel great. I don't feel like there's any setbacks. We're definitely trending upwards right now. I wouldn't say my knee's an issue at all. It's still just trying to get my minutes back up, still trying to get into game shape, which sometimes can take a while, but I'd say that's really just my main focus right now. My body feels great.
What have you learned about Chris Lofton's legacy that he left here?
That I don't think anybody else can duplicate it. He's, if not the greatest shooter in college basketball ever, in my opinion. You know, the people of Tennessee, Vol Nation loves him for good reason. He's a great guy, and that I learned that if I just try to emulate him on and off the court, that my legacy will be left right where it needs to be.
I know Kentucky is enough motivation, but do you feel an extra sense of motivation this weekend to try and win for him with being his home state team?
Definitely. You know, we always want to beat everybody we play, but especially the rivalry games. You know, the crowd's going to be here. We want to put on a show and stay undefeated at home. But definitely, you know, trying to, you know, have this day be as good as possible for him, and that, in that case, being a win.
Have you hunted your shot more over these last 3 games?
I wouldn't say more. I just come out with the aggressive mindsets that my coaches and my teammates need from me. And I'd say that, you know, I'm shooting the shots that they want me to shoot, that I'm comfortable shooting. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. But I wouldn't say I've come out thinking I have to shoot. I just feel like that's my role on this team.
You asked what you knew about Lofton when you got here. What did you know about Tennessee, Kentucky when you got here?
I didn't know a lot. I remember I came on one of my visits, an unofficial visit, when they beat them here, I think, when Admiral and Grant and Bone were on the team. And that was the craziest atmosphere I'd ever seen. And I knew right then and there that this was definitely something I was excited to be a part of. And, you know, since being here, the rivalry has been great. We just want to keep that tradition going.
What made it crazy?
The craziest part that I can remember is the Admiral dunk, and then the crowd went crazy, and then the lob pass from Grant to JB. Yeah, those were the 2 craziest moments. And then I think they beat them pretty handedly, so it was just awesome to see. And then the celebrations afterwards was great.
What changed for this team after that game at Rupp last year?
I wish y'all could have been in that film session. There's a lot of soul searching that we had to do as a team. You know, we always hang our hats on the defensive end, and to let a team score 107 points on us is, you know, uncommon. But you know, you have to understand that it can't happen ever again. And so we did a lot of soul searching. Coach got on us pretty heavily, and we got on each other. And I think that we just, you know, held each other accountable, and, you know, we got embarrassed on national television. We told ourselves we didn't want that to happen again.
Brad talked earlier this week about how Jemai, I think last year after that game, or at some point when y'all were struggling in the month of January last year, talked to you about kind of your energy and how that impacts the team as a whole. What was that conversation like with him, and hearing that, and what's been your mindset since?
Yeah, it was really good. It was actually after the LSU game where we just had like a players and coaches meeting, so we put it out all on the table. Everybody shared their feelings, and that he mentioned it to me in front of everybody, which I feel like was kudos to him, because that's hard to do, to call somebody out. But I feel like that's the culture that we have here. You know, when you're calling somebody out or you're expecting something from somebody, it's all from a place of love, and he just wants me to be at my best, and I appreciate him for that. And it definitely made me do a lot of self-reflection, just knowing that, you know, even though there's days where I don't have the energy or feel like I need to take a day off, I really can't do that being one of the leaders of this team, because I feel like this team goes as not only as I go, but as the senior guys go, the leaders of this team, the people who have been here. So, you know, just got to come in each and every day, whether I feel like it or not, and have a smile on my face, be enthusiastic, and hopefully the day will go well.
How have you seen Euros respond since Rick called him out after that Arizona game?
I've seen him respond great. You know, he's cut down on the antics, and he's been playing really good all year. It's just sometimes he he's very emotional, and he lets that kind of get the best of him. He'll admit it, and sometimes it hurt us throughout the year. But he's responded really well. He's doing his job, which is rebounding and defense, and I feel like he's excelling at a high level.
With that Jemai moment, what's that like as an upperclassman when a guy who's been here 6 months kind of says that? And how do you have to kind of humble yourself?
Yeah, it was a lot. Like I said, I had to do a lot of self-reflection and, understand that I wasn't doing my job as somebody who is a leader on this team or people who look up to me day in and day out. And so, I know I wasn't on my A game and that I had to take a lot of steps, not on the basketball court, but just me as a person, just to be better.
What's going to be key to slowing down Oscar as a group on Saturday? Like
you said, it's as a group. It's not one person. It's not just the 5 or 4 is guarding him. It's us as a team stopping him. We know that they like to get him the ball in isolation, so we can't leave our post guys or whoever's guarding him on an island, and just play team defense against them and trying to contain them.
Two more.
Josiah, what are you seeing from Zakai this past month? It seems like he's really cranked it up a notch.
Yeah, he's been playing at a really high level. I know Coach got on him early in the season just about him not being a pass-first player and wanting him to see him get his teammates involved or get us involved more, and I think he's done a great job of that. I think the last 3 games that he's played, he's put on a show of just how good of a point guard he really is, and I think that he's really accepting that role right now and excelling at it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.